In this video, I'm going to introduce a new way that we're going to do graphics in this course. It's using the graphics module. This is something that simplifies a module that's already in Python called tkinter, and it was written by John Zell, who wrote this for a book that he made to make it a little bit easier to get into. The nice thing about this is that it uses object-oriented programming, and I'll talk a little more about how that is helpful here. So we're going to create a window I'm going to create a window where all our objects are going to be drawn, and it has a title as a parameter, although in code HS you won't be able to see it, and then the width and the height of that window. Okay, now that we have window, you can create some objects. So let's make a point that's going to be a center of a circle. And let's make the center circle at 75, 75. And let's make a circle, just call it C. The parameters for circle, it needs a center, which I already created. It has to be a point. And a radius, let's make it, I don't know, 50. Okay, so we have a window, we have some objects, and then we have to tell the objects to draw themselves. So these are methods. They're going to draw to the window that we specify. So you have to name which window it is. And then this will work, except this will just flash it on and then go away too quickly. So we should pause. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to just get a mouse click. So this will just wait for us to click on the mouse, and then we can close the window. Okay, let's run this, and we should just come up with the circle. Okay, there's our screen, 400 by 300, and there's the circle. This shows that the 75, 75 means that it's 75 across, and 75 is the Y value, but is what's common in many computer graphics programs is the Y coordinate. The origin is 0, 0 up in the left-hand corner, and Y proceeds down, and a positive Y goes down, which I know is backwards from what we're used to in algebra. Okay, so that's that. There are a few other things you can do. Let's say before we draw it, we could change, let's change the fill to maroon. There's other things, outline. We can do thickness as well. How about, okay, let's see what that looks like. And as soon as I click, now this is where I had to click, and then now it closed the window. So now I can run it again. And now it's maroon with the sea green outline. Okay, there's other types of objects you can draw. We can draw a line, and my line. And instead of this, you need to have 2 points. I could define my points ahead of time, set them into variables, but I'm just going to do it this way, that the starting point for this is going to be 210, and it'll go to, I don't know, 250, 60. Okay, and once again, we have to have it draw, my line should draw itself. Okay, and then I'll click to stop this last running of the program. And now that was a mouse click, and then now I can run it again. So there we go. The object-oriented part about this, which is nice, is that, do you notice that the object itself, the instance of the object C, has the data associated with it, center, and the center point and its radius. But we can also, these set methods set other variables inside center. So center now knows, instead of using default black, it uses maroon and sea green for the different colors. And these are all stored together. And now the method, just draw, means I'm not saying draw a circle with the point, this, center, this, fill, an outline. You'd have to have tons of parameters in here. I don't need to do that because it's a method. It's a method, and this draw then can draw whatever is inside C, and C holds all the information. And this is a wonderful way a wonderful example of beautiful object-oriented programming. There are some other shapes that it supports. I'm going to draw a rectangle. And the rectangle, I drew it before. It has the coordinates of opposite corners, and then it draws the rectangle. So I use these points. And you notice I'm actually not going to store the rectangle, because if I don't need to do anything else with it, I just want to draw it once and forget about it. I'm not going to even store this into a variable. I'm just going to make a rectangle instance and draw it to the window right away. So this will draw the rectangle, but won't save it. Another object type you can make is an oval. And it takes the same coordinates. Essentially, you give it the top and bottom corner of a box, and then it fills it with an oval. Actually, let me use the same coordinates as the rectangle. And so this shows what it looks like to draw an oval. So let's get into some more fun stuff. Here's where we can do some animation. So we're going to take this circle and we're going to move it. So first I'm going to do is I'm going to draw it, but then I'm going to pause until we mouse click, and then we'll have a little for loop. Let's make it move 8 times, and c.move, and this tells how much you want to move with the x direction. Let's move 10 pixels every time and move 3 pixels down because that's positive every time. If I run this, you'll see that If I run this, you'll see that when I click, it moves very fast. It looks like it just jumped. So we can pause a little bit between each step. And to do this, we're going to import a sleep function from the time, and this will let us pause for however many seconds we put in here. We don't need to pause much. Let's say 1/10 of a second between each move. So let's run this. Okay, as soon as I click on it, there it goes. It moves. So we can animate this thing. We're going to have a program where you can actually have a little ball bouncing in this window. Having graphical objects as objects is really handy because you can make a list of points. So I'm using list comprehension here to make a point. That what I'm doing is having an angle that goes from 0 to 360 every 72 degrees, which means that if you think about it, 72 degrees 5 times is 360, so this is going to make a pentagon. And I'm just using a little bit of trig here. The details of this doesn't really matter, and moving it, shifting it over a little bit. So I'm having, here's an x coordinate and a y coordinate around a pentagon. And so this list right here is a list of vertices in a pentagon. So one other graphic object you can make is a polygon. So let's run this one, and it'll draw a polygon inside a circle which would have a radius of 50. We can use that list. Let's use that list to create other things. So let's do. We'll just loop through this, and we'll make a circle. And what radius? Let's make a radius of, let's make them kind of small. Let's say 15. Okay, let me click to stop that program. What this is going to do is going to loop through this list of points. And it's going to pull out each point and make a circle right there with the radius 15 and draw it. So there we go. Very handy. And I don't know, what else can I do? Let me stop there. We'll continue this in another video, or maybe just other exercises.